If you think about how ridiculous it is, if people didn't know that having sex with people has consequences, and by that I mean you can get pregnant, you can get diseases. If there was and there's cultural limitations, people frown upon it. But if there was none of those, can you imagine how much people would be fucking?
Oh yeah.
It would be insane.
Yeah.
If there was no such thing as masturbating.
You could fuck at a gas station. People would be fucking, yeah.
If there was no such, if masturbation wasn't possible, first of all, you know what would happen?
What?
Women would rule everything. 100%.
But men would have so much chi built up in them.
Nope. They'd be bitches. They'd be giving in every chance they could.
Oh, because the women would own it.
It would be worth so much more.
That's true.
Yeah. Because women would be able to decide whether or not you came. There's the only way. If that was the only way, if women were the rulers of whether or not you came, if there was no way to come without them, oh my God, they would dominate.
We're fucked, dude. I know that's going to be the next law.
If they're really smart, that's how they would take over. Chop our arms off.
Dude, but you telling me though, you wouldn't watch like a little like Chinese guy jerk off from like 30 feet away?
We're going back to this again.
No, but just tell me. I
watch train accidents. I don't want them to happen. If Jamie pulls up a video of a train accident, oh my God, you got to see this. I'm like, shit. Okay, go ahead. Karen. Imagine if your fucking kid's named Karen. What a bummer that must be if you're a nice person named Karen, and then Karen.
Well, it's like Corona beer. I mean, I can't believe they had to stop that. That makes me sad.
What do you mean? They stopped the name?
That's what I'm told. They stopped making it. Now, I don't know if that's true. That's the source I heard. But
I still enjoy a Corona. I'm not a fucking child.
I like Corona Light, but what am I going to do? And then AIDS candy. That was a smart move. You had to stop that diet candy.
Yeah, it makes you lose weight.
It's ironically sad.
Most people don't even know what we're talking about. It's AIDS, right?
Correct.
That's what it's called.
Correct.
It was a diet candy, like a chocolate.
Yeah.
That you would eat.
I never took it. I mean, it's like the X-Lax for dieting.
Oh, is it like a...
Well, X-Lax actually helps you diet also.
But all it does is just get rid of the food that's in your body. It just
it's
makes
not
you
healthy.
Shit. No.
No, I was somewhere once and I was on Imodium because I was having a rough day. I don't know what happened.
That's another diuretic, right? Or
no, it's constipator.
Yeah.
I mean, it solidifies.
Appetite suppressant candy. Oh, so it's an appetite suppressant. So it's not a...
No.
What is X-Lax?
X-Lax makes you... Yeah, it's a laxative.
Yeah.
It helps you make you shit diarrhea.
Yeah.
Explosively if you eat the whole box. You could shit yourself to death. You could OD on it.
What is barf? What is barf?
Barf is...
detergent, it said.
Oh.
That's funny. Barf's a detergent? Is that real?
Yeah,
they didn't discontinue it because people vomit.
Did they find out they really did discontinue Corona beer? That sounds so ridiculous.
That's what I heard from somebody.
It's a classic.
There was also a candy called anal warts that they decided to take off the market. You know, that's the kind of shit that why do I do it? You never went there.
You couldn't help yourself.
You
know what it is? All those years of Full House. Although I am talking, this is not my podcast. This podcast belongs to the one and only Mr. Chris Ryan, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay! Thank you.
Let everybody know what we're doing.
This is number 3 of our continuing series of Three Musketeer podcasts with Joe Rogan, Duncan Trussell, and yours truly. So now we're in Joe's studio, actually, because I don't have a studio.
Well, we were trying to figure out if we should do our own podcast, and we said, no, we already have 3 podcasts. Let's just swap off.
Yeah.
And I like that. It's really, we should name them, though, just so that people could find them, because I think a lot of these conversations are going to deal with some subjects that maybe they would want to reference, and they would forget which one it was, and we don't want them to have to listen to X amount of hours.
So we should come up with I mean, Three Musketeers is too easy. Circle jerk.
Tripod was one.
Tripod. The triangular.
I like the Three Amigos. Sounds
the
like...
Three Amigos.
It sounds... I don't know. It sounds unpretentious.
How about the Lords of Truth?
Oh, that's not pretentious.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. The spiritual arbiters of the Western world.
How about Shrimp Parade?
I just wanted to figure out a way to use
Shrimp
arbiters.
parade?
What is a shrimp parade?
I don't know. I have no idea. I'd go to one though.
All right. I thought that was some sort of reference to our penises, but that's just
because you always think about penis.
Well, you were just saying your podcast was a sausage fest, Duncan, and then
I
you
meant
come up with shrink.
I wasn't using the term. That didn't mean phallus.
Oh, you just talk
You're
about
the
sausage
sexist.
a lot?
No, I just mean my podcast reminds me of a package of old, salty, briny, withered sausages that you might find at a secondhand meat store.
Briny.
Secondhand meat. What the fuck is a secondhand meat store?
Discarded old sausage. Once this guy, no, they're,
What a great description, though. Secondhand meat store.
Trader Joe's is. I got to get more girls. I got to get more girls on my podcast.
Gals is what you said.
Sure, I said gals.
This is the funniest page on the internet.
Yeah, it was a guy, and his nose was wedged firmly in this girl's butt crack, and then she saran wrapped his head to her butt.
And then she did errands, and she walked around the kitchen, and she like turned the sink on, and
she's just farting.
And she's farting. He's like, And she's like, yeah, you like those dirty farts, huh?
Yeah, it's I like anything with saran wrap and
farts.
shit is funny.
Like sack lunch.
Sack lunch. There's this guy that has saran wrap diaper on, and he just the camera just pans to him, and he spreads his cheeks and fills it with diarrhea. The saran wrap. It's so funny. You know, it's simple, but it's good.
Yeah, that's good.
Just like a
Why
meal,
is
a
that
fine
good?
meal.
What is
it's
good
so
about
funny.
that?
It's the sound, it's the timing. It kind of
Yeah, it fills up fast.
like it pans in just at the right, and then it turns ever so slightly, and the spread and the sound.
There's just something about someone
good.
relishing a woman's farts, like holding onto their cheeks with his nose. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh baby.
We talked about it for a while, and then people wrote in that were into it, you know, because we were like,
Yeah, tell us
and
about
then they would
this,
tell us, they were like, yeah, it goes back to like a pretty girl making something dirty, you know. So it's like,
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
so embarrassed of what I did. So this guy, he wrote in that he was like my now his fiance, like, you know, knows and is cool, and like whenever she has to fart, she calls him over, and he gets so excited.
What the fuck?
He loves it. He loves it.
Come on, how strange are people? People are so strange.
She earned it. That's the thing about like Anna
True.
Nicole Smith when his fucking stupid kids wanted his estate. No, Anna Nicole was sucking his dick. Didn't you do a bit about this?
Yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah, it was one of my closers from
what
1999.
was it?
Well, it was the whole thing about them saying, like, oh my God, she's taking advantage of him. She's only with him for his money. I'm like, don't you think he fucking knows?
Right.
That guy made $1 billion from scratch. Chances are he's a tad crafty. And it was like this whole thing about like, how do you want to die? Do you want to die shaking and alone in your hospital bed surrounded by loved ones? Or do you want to get a big fat Kentucky Fried hooker and just blow it out? And that's what he did. And it was all him dying, telling her to lick his ass and all the different shit he did to her right before he died.
And the kids have done nothing, and they
They've done
think
nothing.
they deserve. You were raised with all that fucking money. You went to private schools. You had tennis coaches. He probably bought you houses. Why do you need more? What the fuck did you do? You didn't suck his dick.
Yeah, you need to get your own money, stupid.
Right.
You rode the ride, and now it's over. And I think also, and this sounds fucked up, but that exists because it's a predatory situation. You're prey. You know, if you're a vulnerable, old, weak, emotional guy who also has $1 billion, women are going to prey on you.
Right.
They're going to pretend to be something they're not. And they might even convince themselves that they are that something that they're pretending to be, because their instinct to try to acquire your wealth and your social status is so strong that they want to be the Trump girl. They want to be the new girl that Trump leaves his wife for. I couldn't imagine being a woman working in an office with a bunch of guys trying to fuck you all the time. It's got to be a goddamn nightmare. I can't imagine having a bunch of bosses that literally tell you suck my dick, I'll give you a raise. Like, that happens. It's fucking, it's got to be hell. I get it. I mean, I get it.
But you
from
have to
top
be,
to
you got to
bottom.
be like an 8 though, 8 on up to deal with that every day. I mean, let's be fucking honest. You know what I mean? There's
some
really
sixes out there.
There's
that
really good. If you got a
hit the
personality.
gym a lot. Got a nice ass.
There were 4 pigs that lived in the house, and one of them was Whitney Cummings' pig. And they brought Whitney Cummings' pig out to me, and I held it, and it squealed like I was fucking it. But I totally wasn't. I totally wasn't. But
I definitely did not watch that man fuck my wife.
pig. Yeah, no, I already don't believe you. I already don't believe you. That's a powerful statement. So anyway, then there's that story.
For years, I've been shocked, even with this platform. I'm like, how is there one guy that can speak to the whole world and the U.S. government isn't fucking surveilling you and having drones everywhere.
They can watch the show. Anyone can get it.
Ooh, that's a good point. You're not hiding.
No.
That's it's like there's freedom in exposing.
Yes.
You can really be free if you just give.
Also, I'm a fucking cage fighting commentator. Who's going to listen to me?
Dude, what if your deep state, that was really your smokescreen?
Imagine if you just got really good at these things just so you could be deep state. But the problem is that's not how people get good at things. They don't get good at things from no motivation. You'd never be able to compete with guys
that
who are out
love it.
there really hustling.
Yeah.
You have to be really hustling. And then they bring you to Fuck Island.
For me, sex is the one thing that completely focuses my mind. And rock climbing, which I did once.
Whoa.
And it's the last time I whimpered.
I would imagine that would fucking put a pucker in your little butthole.
Yeah. I think
What puts a pucker in your butthole? I mean,
Rock climbing.
sex. Oh.
That too. Rock climbing, man.
Yeah, no, rock climbing is intense. I mean, anything scuba diving, anything where your body's convinced you're about to die really focuses your mind.
all right, well, I don't feel like I'm going to die when I'm having sex. I just
Doing
feel,
it wrong.
Well, but sex for me, I mean, especially when I was younger, I used to try to think about other things just to stop from coming.
Yeah.
And you know what worked for me? Old people in snow. That was the only thing that worked.
.com.
That's a good one.
Somebody did that. Old people in yellowsnow.com.
Old people trudging through the snow.
Maybe that should be our podcast.
Old people
in snow.
Yes!
That's not a bad idea.
Sounds like we're doing Blow or something. Old people on snow.
On snow.
It's the only thing that kept Chris Ryan from coming as a child.
From like 14 to 27. Yeah, those were the years.
I thought about you 2 weeks ago when I went to CVS and I saw a white guy and a hot African-American chick having an argument outside of CVS at 9:20 in the morning. He was a little chubby, and they were having some type of loud discussion. I went and I got my medication. When I walked out, he's yelling at her, "I want my wallet back, you fucking bitch."
Why'd you think of me?
Because
I'm like,
you
wait, what do
always
I
tell me
don't
about all
know?
those dirty bitches up in Van Nuys and shit.
A lot of people use stand-up to get a show, to get a writing gig, to get something. And I'm like, I can't stop being one. I am one.
Yeah.
It's part of my hard drive.
Well, it was the most fun, too. Like, they were asking me to do this thing that I was basically, like, I'd never taken any acting classes. I'd just gotten a development deal from MTV Half Hour Comedy Hour.
Right.
And they said, do you want to be on a sitcom? I'm like, oh, okay. And so they made me, like, get an acting coach, and I took a few classes, but it was really annoying. And then next thing you know, I'm out here in L.A. On a sitcom. And so when they said, like, why are you doing stand-up? You're an actor now. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
You've never killed. I'm like, you're saying this because you never killed.
They also didn't believe in hyphenates at that point. You can't do 3 things. You can't do 4 things. I'm sorry. You can only do one thing.
That was also when I started working for the UFC. And when I started working for the UFC, they were acting like I was doing porn. They're like, what are you doing? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to Alabama to do post-fight interviews for a cage fighting event. And they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
That's because you're a fucking original. They don't know what that is.
I've seen both. I've seen people get victimized, and I've seen people that are just in sort of this relationship where I wouldn't want it, but it works for them. You know.
And sometimes they're out in the open with it. The woman will tease and be like, "Oh, honey, you know I wouldn't be with you if it wasn't for the fucking money."
Oh, it's not even a tease.
And he goes, "Of course I know that."
That's a movie. That's in a movie. What was the movie that was in? There was a movie that was in where the
Platoon.
Well, no, the one
Schindler's List. Terms of endearment.
See, you can't even help it. You do it right away.
Chitty chitty
you go
bang,
right
bang.
to fucking Platoon. There's a picture in organs hanging out on the beach. I forget the movie, man. But it was just about a guy who lost everything. And in the scene, like his wife was like laughing about it when everything was going great. And then when he did lose all the money, she did fucking leave him.
Right.
Well, actually, it was in The Wolf of Wall Street, too. It's a common theme. In The Wolf of Wall Street, obviously, he was a crazy, coked up, fucking maniac piece of shit. But when he was going under, and his business was going under, that's when the wife left him.
Right.
When he was doing great, the wife wanted him when he was married to another woman.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a classic story. So it's not like that's an unfamiliar paradigm to us. It's nature.
Right.
It's a wounded antelope that gets taken out by the lion.
And she needs somebody to provide for her.
Or she
protect her.
doesn't, but in that role, she does.
Mm-hmm.
If she chooses that role. If she chooses the role of fucking the old, wrinkly, shaky man with his fucking pale, translucent dick that he sticks inside, we could see as he's coming, you'd see the veins like pump whatever blood they've got. And it's like a little highway going down his fucking saran-wrapped skin.
Filled with Viagra.
Yeah, and just shooting dust bubbles into her pussy. Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, that's
Pinching her
you
nipples.
You can take that choice, or you could start an art gallery and become a multimillionaire on your own. I mean, you could do that too.
Right.
But when you are that girl, okay, if you are that 25-year-old girl with an Adderall problem that's looking to try to hook up with some old billionaire dude and marry him so that you'd be taken care of for life, that's your role. That's what you've chosen. You might have more potential than that, but it doesn't mean that that's not what you've chosen. Oh, you don't even know, baby. She's so slick. She's so smart. I mean, that is one of the smartest girls I've ever met in my life. When she met him and she put all together, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Okay, you're talking nonsense. She's still that girl.
She's a prostitute.
You can't say, no. Listen, you can't say she's a prostitute. 'Cause I know her, and she's powerful.
Yeah.
And what she did was, she's really clever, and she figured out a way to manipulate guys. No, she's still a prostitute.
Right.
You're missing the whole point.
Right.
It doesn't matter if she has all this potential. She reads 150 books a week, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Don't fucking tell me that girl is so goddamn smart. Oh my God. You're saying she's not smart? No. She's a hooker.
All right.
She's playing the role of a hooker.
Sometimes in the podcast, I'll shout out to people who sent me emails, interesting emails.
That's a terrible idea. You should cease that at once.
Well, all right, I'll cease it
Yeah, you're
right
gonna get
after
an
I do this one.
avalanche.
Jack William Verburn, or however he says it, he lives in New Zealand, had a shitty job. He wrote to say, I emailed you last year asking for advice, You didn't feel comfortable, but you said something, and you said to me, the only way to fly is to jump. So I thought I'd email you again and tell you that because of listening to you and Duncan and Joe,
I'm now paralyzed from the
I found out about airplanes. You're full of shit, man. The only way to fly is get on a fucking airplane.
Have you seen King Ash Ripper's work?
Excuse me?
Oh, please, God,
please look him up.
What is that?
Oh,
Who is
I'm
this
so
guy?
excited.
This guy, we've reached
What is
out a
it?
lot, offered him money, and he
What?
won't.
Yeah.
Yes, just because he's such
won't
a
come on our
creative
show.
guy.
What are you
And
talking
Maybe
about?
you could get him. Maybe the great Joe
Yes.
Rogan could get him with your powers.
King Ash Ripper,
Ass ripper.
yeah, hairy and gross, the lord of all farts and gluttony. He makes videos
Oh, no.
of himself.
Oh, this is him?
Yeah.
King Ass Ripper. Oh, please give me some volume.
That's still. Oh no! Okay, he is moving.
Is that real?
Yes. Oh, go to Rippin' Massive Farts.
Yeah, go to Rippin'.
One under it.
How do you know this is
yeah,
real? Hold on.
there.
Oh, because he has an opus. This
Hold
is
on.
just one of many.
What's up with his pants?
Yeah, he does.
So stupid.
It's getting brown there.
He's got 199,000 hits.
Yeah.
How many fucking stand-up bits online of 199,000
Not
hits?
mine.
Even with Elon, it's like you reach a certain level, you must have. Look, if I'm the guy, if I'm deep state, right, and I would know we got this smart South African dude, right, and he can invent anything, he can do all this cool shit, and I'm gonna be like, all right, yeah, bring him over here. And he's like, all right, maybe I want to go, sell some shit to Saudi Arabia. And I'll be like, maybe you don't. You know what I'm saying? and then, right? And
Like that, too.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, just simple as that. And he's like, I'm going to go on Joe Rogan's podcast and smoke weed. You're like, yeah, do whatever the fuck you want. We don't care about the stock prices.
I think they're trying to improve what a person is. What I think we're doing
Oh, by chopping our son's
integrating-